Welcome back to the Ollama course. This is a free course available here on this YouTube channel that will teach you everything you need to know about working with Ollama to help make you an Ollama Pro. In the video so far, we looked at an overview of how to work with Ollama, and then a look at how to install Ollama on Windows and on Linux and on Mac. And finally, we looked at how to find models to use on Ollama.com. In this video, we're going to look at all the options available when using the main interface for Ollama, the command line interface. So we know from the installation video that after installation, the way to run Ollama with a model is the command Ollama run and the model name. But let's look at what else we can do. First, let's get the list of all commands. Ollama-H or Ollama-Help gets us the list of all the commands. So here we see all our options. Right up at the top is serve. Now normally, in most cases, you should never use this command interactively in a terminal. Instead, let Ollama run the serve command automatically as a service. When Ollama installs, it sets up a service to run in the background. And that's what's actually running all the generations with different models. If you stop the service after using it for a while, and then try to run Ollama serve interactively, you'll notice that all your models are gone. The reason is that on Windows and Linux, it's a different user running the service, and when you run Ollama serve, the models will be located in a different place. On Mac, it's a little different, and both the service and the terminal will be run as you. But if you run Ollama serve at the terminal, you have to have that terminal running at all times, even when you want to run some third-party tool. That said, it can be helpful to run Ollama serve yourself if you're experimenting with the different environment variables. This way, you can set the environment variable on the same line as executing Ollama serve. Once you're done with that experiment, you should set them the correct way for your platform, as shown in the documentation. Okay, back to Ollama-H, and we see the next command is Ollama create. This is the command used to create new models to be used with Ollama. In Ollama, a model is the combination of the large gguf model weights file, as well as a template, system prompt, and maybe more. The simplest way to create a new model is to use a new system prompt, or maybe adjust the context size, like we did in the previous video in this course. So create a new model file. I'll create one based on Llama 3.1. So from Llama 3.1. It's worth noting that the model file is not case sensitive. We usually capitalize the directives in the file just to make it easier to read. Then on the next line, enter system. When you enter multi-line text in a model file, start and end with 3 double quotes. Now enter your prompt. You are the Swedish Chef from the classic Muppet series. You remember this guy? You answer every question incomprehensibly, and you often use the phrase "Morp, morp, morp." Now back at the command line, you can run Ollama create swede-f./model file, and it'll create the new model. Now run Ollama run swede and ask about a black hole. And that is probably how the Swedish Chef would answer. You can also create a model from a new model weights file you download from Hugging Face. This can be a gguf file converted and quantized by someone else, or even, in some cases, the SafeTensors files. Let's take a look at how that is done. So I found this model weights repo on Hugging Face called Peach9b8k roleplay. And I can see that according to the config.json file, its architecture is Llama for causal LM. And up here at the top, it says it's SafeTensors. Okay, so I'll download the repo. I like to use a tool called Hugging Face Downloader that you can find on GitHub. Just cloning the repo always either fails for me or just takes a long time. Then go to the new directory and create a new model file. In there, I set from to the current directory, system to the default system prompt from their example, and I found a template to use from the Yi model on Ollama that this is a fine-tune of. And I also have a stop word set of IAM-end because I was running into problems when I first tried it. Now, Ollama create peach-f./model file -q q4_0, and it'll convert the SafeTensors to gguf and quantize it to use 4-bit weights. When it's done, you can run Ollama run peach and start to work with the model. Now this model isn't all that interesting, but I just wanted to show that it's possible. Apparently this process only works with SafeTensors that are using Llama, Mistral, and Gemma architectures. Creating models from SafeTensor files is pretty cool. If you want to learn more cool stuff like this, consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. I post more videos from this free Ollama course every Tuesday, and I also post more in-depth videos on Thursdays. So if you subscribe, you'll learn more about the videos as they come out. Next in our list is Show, Ollama Show Peach, and we can see some high-level configs for our new Peach model. For instance, I can see the max context size supported. Run Ollama Show-H to see what details we can see. We can read the license for the model file, the parameters, the system prompt, or the template. Next is Run. We already have used this a lot because it's what runs the model, so we can do a generation. So Ollama Run and the model name. You can also specify -- format JSON to instruct the model to output as a JSON blob. -- keep alive is pretty useful to force a model to unload or load for a specific amount of time. And verbose is pretty useful to see how long things take. Now, in order to run a model, we need to have it stored locally. If you run the command Ollama Run and the model name, then Ollama will automatically pull the model. But if you use the API, then it won't. You need to pull it first. You can pull with the API, or you can use the Ollama pull and a new model name. This will pull the model from ollama.com, and then you can run it later. Next in the list is Push, but I'll come back to this one in a little bit. So now we have List. This just lists the models you've downloaded to this account. Ollama ls or Ollama list are the commands you can use. Here's what it looks like on my machine. Ollama CP will copy a model, basically giving it a new name. It's not copying the full files, but just copying the reference. So if you pull a model that's 20 gigabytes on your disk and you copy it, you'll only copy the manifest that references it, which will point to the same large files. So after the copy, you might only consume another 500 bytes on your computer and not another 20 gigs. Ollama RM will remove a model. But if you remove a model that you copied, it won't recover a lot of space because the original model is still there. And that's pretty much everything. So let's go back to Push. So Push lets you push a new model up to ollama.com. To enable this, you first need to set up an account with ollama.com. So click Sign In and then Create Account. Enter an email address, username, and password, and click Create Account. This creates the account, but you can't upload anything yet. So click Edit Profile, and then go to Ollama Keys. You need to upload the public key Ollama generated for you when it was installed. Here are the locations for the keys depending on your OS. So copy the contents of the key to your clipboard, and then paste it into the text box right here. Although this is an ED25519 key, it's not the same as an SSH key. Don't generate your own key with SSH and upload it because it's not going to work. After adding it, you'll be able to upload models. There's no login process for the Ollama CLI, it just uses the private and public keys to ensure it really is you. But to push, your model needs to have a name that starts with your username, then / then the name you chose to give it. My username is the letter M. The minimum length for all usernames is 3 characters, I believe. There is a single exception, and that's me. I was the first person to upload a model and the first to create a username, and then they realized it's probably a bad idea and all other usernames must be longer. Even the founders of the project have longer usernames. So maybe earlier you created a model like I did called Peach. So run Ollama CP Peach m/Peach, using, of course, your username and not mine. Then you can run Ollama push m/Peach, and again, using your username. This may take a little while to upload. Now you can go to ollama.com/your username, and you'll see all of your models. So that's pretty cool, right? And that is all the stuff you can do from the Ollama command line interface. I'll be covering some of the third-party GUIs in the future that do a lot of the same things in different ways. And I've already used most of them. But none can do the basic stuff as easily or as efficient as the CLI. Now, I want you to watch out for the next video in the course, coming out soon, on what you need to know to be able to use a third-party front end. Thanks so much for watching. And until then, I hope you have a great time making AI part of your life using Ollama. Goodbye.